Fairfield Christian Church welcomes Paul Wilbur in concert.
Worthy is the Lamb that was slain for us, Son of God.
Paul Wilbur and Band in concert, Saturday evening, May 4th at 7 at the Fairfield Christian Church in Lancaster. Don't miss this exciting night of worship with Paul Wilbur and the Messiah Company dancers. This is a love offering event. Doors open at 6:30. More details at 740-654-0099 or fairfieldchristian.org.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program on LSN Television. We're also carried at a couple of our radio affiliates here in the Lancaster and Fairfield County area. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week, where we have guests from within the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office and also guests from within the community leaders. And today I'd like to welcome Tim Welch with Pregnancy Distress Health Center.
Yep.
And do appreciate you being here and taking time out of your day, Tim.
It's real good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, I know a lot of the viewers and listeners out there may not know what the Pregnancy Decision Health Center is, and probably, I think like myself, we talk about these things over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're surprised when people don't even know when
Yeah.
we have these kind of facilities right here in Fairfield County.
Yeah, it's always amazing to me the number of people who do know about PDHC and the people who don't know about PDHC. But we've been actually in business since 1981, and it was started by a couple up in Columbus that just had to do something about the abortion issue, and they thought that there should be a better choice for these women who find themselves in an unexpected pregnancy. And they just published a phone number, and they started talking women off the ledge. They were sat in their own bedroom and just answered the phone. And we're doing the same thing today, but we do have 5 offices all around Central Ohio, one of which is right out by the firehouse on East Main Street, way out by Tim Hortons out there. And it's been around for, golly, a long, long time, probably 10 years.
Before we talk any more about the health center, which is so important and really an option for women thinking or faced with the possibility of having an abortion, tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, well, I'm a lifelong Lancaster resident. I've been here, my parents moved here when I was 6 months old, so I'm not quite a native. But they moved here when I was 6 months old and lived here ever since. I have a beautiful wife of 35 years this August, Joanne.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And been the best 35 years of my life. We have 5 children, all of which are grown and off doing stuff all over the place. Got a son that's a Marine, and I've got one down in Key West, Florida, and I've got one in Houston, Texas, and I got a couple up in Toledo. So
Grandchildren?
have one grandchild.
Well,
Yes.
congratulations.
And
So-
I have to tell you something. Forgive me for interrupting, but I this is somewhat personal. My daughter Clara, who was not married at the time, called about 2.5 years ago, or almost 3 years now, and said, I've got something to tell you, Dad. And she said that, I'm pregnant. And she wasn't married. And she said, I was really afraid to tell you. And I started laughing, and I said, you do know what I do for a living, don't you? I help women who are in exactly your position. And we've got a Samuel Hennessy is our 2-year-old, and he just turned 2 in the first part of April, and he's just the joy of our life.
I've heard stories like that over the years, and sometimes it's very difficult for parents when they go through an unwed daughter that may be pregnant. But when that grandchild comes along, it goes from a concern or what are we going to do to a blessing that affects them for the rest of their life.
Oh, yeah.
Many times.
Yeah, and you know, it's it's really a matter of one of the things that I contemplate all the time, Dave, is loving a neighbor as we would be loved, and that includes daughters and sons. And,
Sure.
And so, it's a matter of Christian charity, and it's a matter of God's love, just being in that relationship between yourself and your daughter. And so many times, some of the women that we see at pregnancy decision health centers don't have anything close to that. They unfortunately live in a single parent household, and they may not see their mother for days on end, or they may not see their father, or they may not even know who their father is. And some of the inner city folks up in Columbus, the people that we see, it's just very sad. They don't have that love of a father that says it's going to be okay,
Right.
And that's
Right.
what they need.
So how did you become the director of the Pregnancy Decision Health Center, Tim?
Well, from 1988 until 1998, I actually headed up Ohio Right to Life,
Okay.
which was like the legislative and political part of the pro-life movement. And then I went back out. At that time, 1998, my oldest daughter was 18 years old, and my youngest son was, I think, 11. And honestly, I just needed to make more money because they were getting to cost a little bit more money.
Well, sure.
So I went out and worked in the private sector for 10 years, and then really got back into it because the place I worked merged with another company, and I was kind of left without a seat. And this opportunity came up, and it was a great opportunity for me to get back into the pro-life community and make a real difference.
So what are your centers, and what do they offer?
Well, we have 5 centers. We have one on the far west side of Columbus, actually right across from the casino. We have one on the Ohio State University campus at the corner of 17th and High. We have one on North Cleveland Avenue, just inside of 270 on Cleveland Avenue. And we have one in Linden, South Linden, which is really an inner city center. And then, of course, we have the one here in Lancaster. And we offer, everything that we offer is free of charge. We offer STD testing, we offer free pregnancy tests, we offer free ultrasounds, we in some cases offer prenatal vitamins, we offer clothing and diapers, and we give away more diapers, I think, than any organization in Central Ohio. I wish they would start counting them so I could actually quote a number, but nobody counts them. We give away just unbelievable amounts of clothing and material aid, and then we also give them, we try not to, it's important for us not to duplicate services that are already there.
Right.
So we don't want to replace job and family services. We don't want to replace good prenatal care by a physician. We don't want to replace any of that, but we want to augment that and come alongside of that and give them what they need to sort of navigate through a really difficult time in their lives.
Yeah. Tell me about a typical woman that would come to visit, Tim.
Well, in Columbus, it's a little bit different, but normally they are not married. Normally, some of them are married that come to see us. Normally, they are a woman between the ages of 15 and 24. They're, depending on the location of the office, they're either a woman of color. In our Lancaster office, they're generally Caucasian, but in Columbus, we get a lot of Hispanic and African Americans. They're generally undereducated and underemployed because everything we offer is at no charge to them. And an interesting statistic that I always think is really interesting is that about 50% of all the women that come to us and think they've got a problem, that they think they're pregnant, they're not. When we
Isn't that interesting?
It's really interesting. And it gives us an opportunity to talk with them about their sexual integrity, to talk with them about their value as a woman, and to talk with them about their sort of the value of being able to say no and mean it.
Yeah. If you just joined us, we're with Tim Welch, the Director of Pregnancy Decision Health Center today. Tim, so the facility you have in Lancaster, you have another one that may be opening in the Pickerington area.
Yeah, Yeah, we've got, we hope to do that fairly soon. I'm hoping to open up a second center in Fairfield County in Pickerington, certainly by the end of June.
Okay.
Hopefully before that time, but it's all about us, frankly, being able to scare up the money to open it, so.
Yeah, now, for the most part, it's donations, right?
Yeah, just about every penny that we get is from just individuals giving us their, just the widow's mite almost, just the $25 and $30 donations.
And so it takes a lot of those to
It does.
to do that. If someone is out there watching or listening today, if there's a girl or some parents that are going through this situation, give them some direction. What do they need to do? How can they get in touch with you, and how does this work?
There's a couple ways they can do that. One is they can go out on the web and go to umatterpdhc.org. And there's all kinds of information out there. There's a way to live chat with us on the internet. They can email us from there. Our hotline is on there, which is, the hotline number is 614-444-4411. It's real easy to remember. And someone will talk with, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There's someone there to talk with them. And we like to think that we're the people that are going to say yes. We're the people that are actually going to help you. We're the people that are actually going to love on you and help you.
Yeah. Boy, that's got to be tough, because you are in the life and death business.
Yeah. And I have to say, our nurses, I don't know of another, maybe emergency room nurses, but I don't know of another occupation where you go into work every single day knowing that you're going to have the opportunity to save a life, and you know that you're going to save some and you're going to lose some. You just know.
Right.
And I think the most excruciating thing for our nurses and for our consultants that actually sit with these dear souls that come across our path, I think the hardest thing would be many of them walk away and we never see them again.
Sure.
And you just never know whether what they've done.
Right.
And that, for me, that would kind of weigh on my brain a little bit,
I was surprised they had a banquet at Seton Parish within the last month, and just the number of abortions we've had in this country.
Yeah. There's more than 1 million happen every single year in the United States. There have been 55 million since Roe versus Wade in 1973, which was the decision to make abortion legal for any reason at any time of the pregnancy, and it's a sad fact. I mean, and it's actually cascaded into other parts of our lives. I think the devaluation of human life is a big thing in terms of where we are today as a country.
Wow. So it's a light out there, and you folks are involved. What about volunteerism? Is there a place for volunteers, or is it?
Yeah. We've got volunteer opportunities to do just about anything. Someone stopped me after church yesterday, and we were talking about what she could do as a volunteer. And we have people at the Lancaster office. We need a smiling face to sit at the desk and greet people. When they first walk in, we need them to feel comfortable, and we need them to feel welcome. And we need somebody to sit there and just be that happy face, be that welcoming face. We have people doing laundry for us because we accept donations of lightly used maternity clothes and baby clothes, and first thing we do is we wash them, and so somebody has to do that. We certainly have people who make some phone calls, some follow-up phone calls, write thank you letters to these young women, just about anything. People run the vacuum cleaner at our office, as volunteers. People mow the lawn. They plant flowers. There's all kinds of things that people can do.
Well, I'm certainly familiar with the Lancaster Center here, and do you put those addresses out for people? They just walk in off the street, or how does that?
They can just walk in off the street. It's it depends. If we've got an ultrasound appointment,
Right.
and the nurse is tied up doing an ultrasound with a young woman, they may have to sit and wait for a few minutes.
Sure.
But it's just like anything else. Or they can just call us. The best way for them to be in touch is that 444-4411 number, and that's our hotline that we actually man. And, you know, a lot of people, we're one of the very few centers in the United States that actually mans their own hotline.
Tim, we're just about out of time.
Yeah.
If you can you come back with us next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd love
Good
to.
to be back with us next week. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Maybe even how many people have visited the centers here in Lancaster and throughout Central Ohio. With us this afternoon, Tim Welch, and the head of the Pregnancy Decision Health Center right here in Lancaster and throughout Central Ohio. I do appreciate Tim being with us. He'll be back here next week to talk a little bit more about some of the things. Maybe we're going to go into a little bit more about how many people have gone through the things, and maybe even some advice on if you have a child, or if you have a friend that's has an unwanted pregnancy, some advice that Tim can share to tell them. The clock on the wall says we're out of time, and I do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank the folks here at Fairfield Christian Academy that produced this program absolutely free, and they've done it for years, and certainly our radio affiliates throughout Central Ohio. Until next time, same place, same week, or same time, same place, this is yours truly, Sheriff Dave Phelan. God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.
I didn't need help from anybody. I was good at everything. And this, the drugs and the alcohol, I couldn't stop doing it. I went down a path of destruction, just about escaping the feelings. I never used one without the other. It was chaos. A dump truck, insanity plowed into us. I know it was the devil. I actually got suspended from baseball. I said, I need help, but I can't do it anymore. I fell on my own. You do with me what you want to do with me, but I surrender.